Good afternoon. Thank you for working the Thanksgiving basketball tournament for either a sophomore or freshman basketball game during the Thanksgiving basketball tournament. As you approach the table, you'll see this booklet. Open it up, and you'll see a stack of these papers in there. You'll need two, one for one team and one for the other. You can close the book and just put it away and set these up side by side at the table, and you are good to go. A stack of pens or pencils there for you. And once you get to the table, first thing you need to do is put the team in each spot, one for one team, one for the other. The other thing I would do is put their color jersey they're wearing. It's easy for you to be able to distinguish between the two teams rather than team names. Colors make it a little easier for you to do that. Don't worry about anything else here. Really, it's just the team you got to worry about. Again, the book that you'll be doing is just for to make sure there's not a discrepancy between the score and what's on the scoreboard. It's a secondary way to check the score. Other teams, the teams will have their own books that they will do. You are just going to be doing the book from the book that I have there as well. There's a lot that you can do, as you can see on here. I'm not really concerned that you could do all that. If you want to watch some other video tutorials and really get into it, great. I'm just going to teach you the bare minimum that is needed just to make sure there's no discrepancies during the course of the game. All the other extra stuff are for player stats, and we are not keeping stats for the players. We're just keeping the score, make sure players, fouls, and the scores and the timeouts are all accounted for. So the first thing, like I said, you come in here, record the team and their color jersey. The next thing you're gonna do is enter in all the players' numbers. Don't worry about the names. I just care about their numbers. So you're gonna come in, and again, you got number 2, number 4, number 5, number 7, number 10, number 15, number 19, number 23, number 25. That's their roster. They might have a few more, but there you go. There's their roster. You'll do it on both sheets. I'll just do it on this one for now. Okay, so that's their roster. The next thing, you got to get the starting 5. So say number 2 is starting. Right here, you can see their quarters. The starters in quarter 1 are going to put an X in there. So number 2 started, number 5 started, number 10 started, number 19 started, and number 23 started. So they're going to get an X in there. Okay? They started the game. Then anytime a player plays in a quarter, that is going to get that quarter, or the number 2Q, 3Q, 1Q, 4Q, is going to get crossed off. So say the starter here, number 2, started the first quarter. Obviously he plays. But then he also plays in the second quarter. You're going to cross that 2Q off. Okay, if he plays in the third quarter, you cross it off. He might not play in the fourth quarter, so you don't cross it off. But anytime a player enters the game, that quarter needs to be crossed off. That allows you to know who's in the game or who has played in that quarter. So again, when they make a sub, check the number, make sure they have a slash in there as well. So say number 4, he didn't start in quarter 1, but he was the first sub in. You're going to put a slash in Q1. Number 7, he's one of the later subs. Probably not going to play in first quarter, but he's going to get in the second quarter in the situation. So you're going to put a slash in 2Q right there for number 7. Okay. Number 15 didn't start, played in the second quarter though. He subbed in, and then in the fourth quarter, didn't play in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter came in right at the end because his team was up and played there. So you could have all 4 boxes crossed off. You could have 1 box. You could have 3, depending on how many quarters they played in. But again, the starters have the X, and then all the other ones are crossed off, just 1 slash when they got into the game. Okay, again, you got your players here. The other thing you're going to do is record the players' fouls. Okay, you have P1, P2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, players get 5 personal fouls in the game, and then they're out of the game. So anytime they get a foul, the official will come over the table and tell you the number, and you're going to cross off that number. So player number 2 got a foul, cross off P1. Later in the game, you get another one, cross off 2. Okay, These T1 and T2 are the technicals. Players can get 2 technicals in the game, and they are out. If they get a technical, they're also going to get a personal foul as well. So a P2 is also going to be considered a foul. So if he gets a technical, anytime a player gets a technical, it's going to be a foul. So he could be here, and then he's a technical as well. Again, the officials will tell you, and if you have questions, you're going to cross that off. But again, technical, when a player gets a technical, right here. And again, if you have questions with that, you can always ask the officials as well. But you're going to cross that off, and coach will ask you how many players, fouls players have, and so forth, and then you can tell them if they ask. It's right here. This section right here is if you want to record points for who scored them. Again, I'm not concerned about that because I'm not keeping book for people to keep their stats. They can keep their own stats. We're just keeping score of the total of the game. So right here, they will, you can put the number if they score 2, 1, 3, whatever. You can keep track of that if you'd like. You don't need to. Up here is the big thing, okay? So you can see the numbers right here. This is the running score. What you will do, try to get the video so you can see, okay, is you're going to cross off the boxes that are what they scored and what the score is. Don't cross off every single one because then you won't know if it was a 2 or a 3-pointer. So if a player hits a layup to start the game, you're going to cross off 2. They hit another jump shot, 2. They hit another layup, 2. Then they hit a 3-pointer. They went from 6 to 9 points right there. Hit a 2-pointer, then hit a 3-pointer, go to 14. Okay, you can see I'm not crossing off every box. I'm just crossing off the one that the point is at. Okay, so they hit a free throw. After 14, they hit a 1-point free throw. 15, then they hit the second free throw. 16. Okay, then they hit a 3-pointer. Then 19 right here. Okay, this way, if there's a discrepancy of what the last shot was or so forth, you can say, hey, the last shot was a 3-pointer, and then before that they hit 2 free throws. You can tell what shots were made over the course of the game, and so that way officials can come back and double check, or coaches, if there is a discrepancy. So again, you're not crossing off every one. You're skipping spaces based on whether it's a 2 or a 3-pointer. Here, then at the end of the first quarter, you'll put the score. Second quarter, put here. Third quarter here, and the final score there. Okay, that's the scoring right there. The final thing that you're going to do is you're going to keep track of the timeouts right here. A team is allowed 5 timeouts over the course of a game. They get 3 full timeouts, and they get 2 30-second timeouts. And here is where you're going to distinguish between the two. You can do a full timeout. If you want to put an F for a full timeout, again, I'm sure there are different ways to do this. And then you can put a 3 for a 30-second timeout to distinguish between the two. But they get 5 total, 3 full timeouts, and 2 30-second timeouts. A full timeout is 1 minute, and again, obviously a 30-second timeout is 30 seconds. So you're going to keep track of that, and coaches might ask how many timeouts they have left, but they should know for the most part. And then the last thing that you're going to do is you have to keep track of the team fouls in the first half and then the second half. So every time there's a foul here, you have to also cross off down here. So they might have individual player fouls, but you're going to also have team fouls. So like here, for example, player 2 had a foul. So I should have come down here and crossed off 1. Then say number 4 here had his first foul. Then you got to cross off. That was a second foul for the team. Then player 2 had another foul. That was third. And then player 4 had a second foul. Okay? Then you get right there. Now, if there's a technical, you cross that off based on right here, and then you can put their number next to that if needed. But again, that is, you can ask the officials how they would like to distinguish between the two, but that's what you're going to do there. So by the end, you need to keep track of this because it determines free throws, whether they get one shot and then an extra one potentially, or they get 2 shots depending on the number of fouls. So again, every time you had a foul, but individual personal foul, you have to record it down here collectively as the team. So a player could have 1 foul, but the team could have a total of 5 fouls, and that's when you want to make sure you distinguish between the two. That is everything that I am going to require you to do when you do the book. If you would like to do more, watch some videos, there's some other ones out there. But again, stats here, not too concerned with. I'm concerned with the running score, and you can score here at the half, the players when they played, and then the fouls right here, as well as the timeouts. Again, you have full timeouts and 30-second timeouts there. If you have any other questions, please let me know, and I can give you some more information. But again, I'm just giving you the basics so that you have enough to keep the scorebook to make sure there's no discrepancies over the course of the game. Thank you again, and go Warriors.